Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Hope everyone's doing well today. No daily free picks today, but instead I just wanted to do another live stream Q&A. Basically, yeah, so if you guys have any games that you want to have a look at for tonight.
Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins.
Happy to go through that.
Everyone's doing well today.
Yeah, so again, I'm just going to go through. I did one of these before. I said I'd do another one. I have a bit of time tonight. So I will be, obviously I'll be taking your guys' questions and, just go through some of the games for tonight. Yeah, so let's just jump into it here. So again, if you guys have a game or something that you want information on, I'd be happy to break that down and go through it. First off though, guys, just let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Maybe just someone write something in the comment section like hi or something. Alright, so let's have a look at the football game here. Alright, 76ers. You are first, so we will look at the 76ers. Alright, so you know what? I was actually looking at this game earlier. I saw a really interesting stat. And so, I mean, it looks on the surface like there's a bit of value on the 76ers. But I saw a crazy stat, like Philadelphia is something like 2-20 or something against OKC. But I can't verify that. It was something I was reading earlier. But on the surface, I mean, the money distribution looks like it's kind of leaning towards Philly. So it's not a contrarian play. It doesn't look like there's any steam or reverse line moves. But with 48% of bets, 64% of money, it looks like definitely, there's a bit more money on Philly here. Let's just go and see if there has been anything. So there was 2 steam moves on Philadelphia. That's probably why that money's there. But again, both those books are kind of losing books. Like you see Orleans, when they have steam plays, it's down almost 50 units. Like, that's not great. 3 plays on the under, which is interesting. And it looks like there is a little system indicator here. So again, this is a system indicator. I wouldn't necessarily make a pick based on this. Like, it's 54%. It's a profitable system. But I use this not so much to make picks off of, but just to indicate kind of what side I'd want to be on. So I think if we were going to pick just based on the numbers, Philadelphia would be the play today. Just a little bit weary of that kind of stat I heard earlier. Jackson State. Yeah, you know what? So I'm going to come back, Jackson State. I'm going to go over the Louisiana-Lafayette, the football game here tonight. Let's just jump over here. So I was originally leaning UL-Lafayette, and what I wanted to do originally, the line's at 14. I was going to buy that down to 13.5. You can see there's a little bit of value here. Miami, Ohio is the contrarian play, but there's been a steam play, possibly 2 on UL Lafayette. And I think if anything about this game, I actually kind of like the under. As you can see here, there's 3 steam plays on the under, and there's a steam play on UL Lafayette. So the under seems like a good play here because you have 3 steam bets, 1 reverse line move and 2 steam bets, and the steam bet at Orleans is a profitable steam bet long term, but as well, like, have a look at this money distribution. That's a really nice money distribution. So that is 37% of bets, 47% of money. So we know the sharps are on it, but it's also contrarian. So it's between that 7 to 21% range we love to see, and also a contrarian. So I like the under, and that line has come back up a little bit, and I think that's just from the public basically slamming the over a little bit in that game. But so it's not a bad line. It had come down to 54.5. You see bookmakers still at 54.5. So, I don't know 100%. I'm probably going to put a small bet, like a very small bet out there, maybe like a 0.25%. So like a quarter unit kind of play on the under. And I don't know that I'm going to take UL Lafayette. There's just, I don't want to, even though there's steam on it, I don't want to bet on something that's kind of betting against Vegas. So probably lay off that one. let's just jump over. I got to see a couple NHL things here. So here's our NHL unders, right? I'm not going to bet the NHL unders tonight. There's only really out of all of them. This was the one I kind of cued in on, and I missed the boat. So I definitely would have taken this. Francos for Colorado. Guys, remember you heard this here. Francos is going to be a top 5 goalie in the NHL. Vegas, I've made some money on Francos this year. Vegas has no idea who he is still. And this guy is going to be a superstar in the NHL. He was a number 1 goaltender in the KHL, and he's come over to the NHL, and he's slowly stealing the starting spot away in Colorado. So he's a phenomenal goalie. So I like the under and open at 6, and I just missed it. And just missed it. It dropped to 5.5, and I didn't want to take it at 5.5. And then the books are smart to buy it up to 6. You had to pay a ton of juice. So I wasn't really into that. But I just want to show you this is the under Monday unders before the All-Star break. So I'm just gonna pull that up quickly. And so this is for totals of 5.5 and 6. And the reason I use 5.5 and 6, those are the 2 most profitable. I guess we could add 7 onto here, but there's not that much of a sample size. But you can see that 5 returns 0 ROI, and games that are 6.5 are actually, you would lose about 10% on those. So I use 5.5 and 6. But if we if we look at the graph, it's been pretty topsy-turvy this year, and it's been down. But one of the reasons I'm laying off is if we go into the game month that we have it in, we can actually see here. Sorry, I laid it off for December because December looked like it was, it was just not a good month to be doing that. Only a 3% return in December. So January, maybe we will go again because that looks to be the highest month. So I was stuck in December. So anyways, guys, I'm not going to make that play today because I think at 6 it would have been really good value. But it's not the worst bet in the world. Sorry, guys, I'm getting sidetracked here. So anyways, ask about the LA Kings. All right, so looks like the money distribution, again, not fantastic. There wasn't a whole lot of value out there today, but you can see here there was a steam play on Columbus. So the fact that the numbers aren't great and there is a steam play on Columbus, probably not going to jump on that one. Okay, so sorry, and I saw, Andrew, you said Avalanche as well. Yeah, I like the Avalanche. I like them at 115. Once we start having to pay minus 130 on the road against the Islanders, not a huge fan of that. I mean, the money distribution is not fantastic, but it's definitely, the money line is where the money's going in there. Let's just have a quick look here and see what we got. A couple steam plays on Colorado. That's probably what pushed that line up 15 points. So, I definitely think Colorado's the play, and we're going to see. So there's the value from the money distribution there, and contrarian on the Islanders. So I like Colorado in this game for the simple reason that I don't think that Vegas properly values Francos. He's a fantastic goalie. They'll figure it out eventually, but they haven't quite figured it out just yet. So I don't mind Colorado as a play. Pinnacle's minus 125, minus 130, value's thin. At minus 115 earlier, that was a hell of a play. Norfolk under. Let's have a look here. So I'm going to show you guys this. So there is a couple plays that fit into the super system, and that's these 2 plays here. I didn't take this one because the money distribution is really, really ugly. But I did put a half unit play out here on Georgia Southern and Little Rock, Arkansas. There was 2 steam plays on the under, a reverse line move on the over. None of them really profitable books, but again, this did look like it was a good solid play. So like the under in that game, this one, I laid off. I think there was some steam here. There was one steam bet on the under earlier, but All right, so Norfolk. Where are we here? Norfolk. Oh, here we are. Okay, so Norfolk looks like they're getting all the public love here. Wow, yeah, 59% of bets, 90% of money. So I'm sure there's going to be contrarian value here. No, there is actually a reverse line move on Copen. So let's just have a quick look at that. Yeah, it looks like there's a reverse line move, but also there is a steam play for Norfolk as well, and an earlier steam play from Norfolk. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that this would be a play necessarily for me. Just with 90% of the money in college basketball, I'm sure you've noticed this. Games where you have like 85, 90% of the money, there's 95% of money. Weird things happen. Especially when you have like the off the board games, these games with the long numbers, those are the games where you need so-called special manager approval to bet over $1,000, sometimes over $500, because these are the games that they normally lose money on when the sharps hit them hard, right? So that's why you need to get a little bit of extra approval for that. Avalanche 3-9 on the road past. Well, that's a good point, Zekin. Yeah, I think again, I'm not going to just really jump back in that, but I think that when Francouz is in the net, it gives them value, regardless where they are. It gives them value, but on the road against the Islanders are a very tough team. They're a tough team. I think the Islanders personally are. I mean, they got a decent record, but I think they're better than the record, anyways. So. Where are we here? Georgia State -3. I didn't even remember seeing Georgia State today. Oh, yeah, there they are. How about that? Okay, so Georgia State -3. Money distribution here, again, not pretty. It's not something I'd really want to jump on. Like, it's contrarian, but right here we can see that 53% of bets are on Georgia State, but only 31% of money. So it looks like, the sharp money seems to be on this side. But that being said, again, do we really want to take a contrary or bet with the money in a college game? There's a larger school, so there's, less chance of something funny going on, but still. So, we can see a steam play on Arkansas State here. So again, I know this is probably the common theme you're hearing from me guys, which I'm yeah, it's not really a play today. That looks like a really large steam bet. It looks like a really large steam bet that came in here. Look at the money. Look at the money drop. Now I know that's early, but that looks like it's a large steam play going on Arkansas State. So yeah, I tend to kind of stay away from that. Next. Okay, Oklahoma State and VMU. So definitely, yeah. Okay, there's some value on State probably here. Contrarian play, reverse line move, and money distribution. We have 32% of bets, 56% of money. Now it's over 50%, but barely, and that's definitely to do with. Probably some heavy steam reverse line moves. So as we go here, okay, we got OK State, OK State, OK State, OK State, OK State, and OK State. So you can see this line's been bet all the way down. And what are we currently here? OK State, 0. It basically, just take money line -110 or at 5 dimes or -1. 5 dimes is a pretty sharp book for college basketball. So when I see other lines where 0-0 and then 5 dimes is -1, there's typically a bit of value on these other lines anyways. But I would say, in college basketball, that looks like a pretty good play. That looks like a pretty good play there. You're not getting the same value, obviously, as you did this morning when you're getting them at +2, +2.5, but, still some good value. +900 on Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Huh. I don't know. I'm not really a props better, so there you go. Avs 7-1-1 last 9 road games. There you go. All right, yeah. I knew, I didn't know their record, in the last 10, but I just Franco's until Vegas figures this guy out. I keep riding him. I'll keep riding him when he gets his starts, and I'm telling you, he's going to be a top 5 goalie in the NHL, and he's going to steal the starting job by the end of the year. If Colorado figures this out before February and makes him their full-on starter, I might actually take a very rare prop bet, and I might take them to win the Cup. I wouldn't ride it all the way through. I'm probably going to bet them to win the Cup, and then every round just lay off a bit of action. They're probably long enough odds that I can guarantee myself a profit if they make it out of the first round. And I think with a guy like Francouz, they definitely can. And they got some firepower on that team. So, something to consider there. Do I have a subscription to... Yes, that's what this is. My whole thing on this, and I use a couple other things too, but this is like a wealth of information. And at the end of the day, if you want to do something, you got to do it right, and you got to invest in yourself. So, I think, as I mentioned before in some of my videos, I think this should be the goal for everyone to, get to the point where they're, betting enough money, at least $25 a game, to be able to afford something like this, right? So, West Virginia money line. West Virginia money line. I assume we're talking college basketball again. So West Virginia money line, I don't think so, because, looks like there's a fair amount of value on Oklahoma State here. So, VCU and Howard. All right, let's have a look here. Okay, so yeah, BCU had a reverse line move earlier. It's at Heritage, which you can see is like barely kind of non-profitable. Now Heritage in the back, they're not a bad book, and even though they're not profitable this year on their reverse line moves on college basketball, I certainly wouldn't discount a reverse line move on BCU. The money distribution, again, not spectacular. Like what we'd love to see here is, we'd love to see where we have, I'm trying to find an example on here. See, there's not a lot of great examples out here, but we'd love to see something like, 40% and 48% or something like that. There's a steam move just came in on Indiana right here. Let's just jump over basketball really quickly. I will go back over there. So yeah, steam play came in on Indiana. I think there's going to be, they haven't updated that, so stay away. There was one that I saw. Now I bet this game earlier. I actually got this game at 11.5 the second it opened. I got Golden State at plus 11.5. Got a couple system indicators, but these are two system indicators that I really like. So a bit of value's gone because again I got them at 11.5. It's down to 10. You get plus 10.5 at Pinnacle, but these are pretty good systems. Like this one returns a 9.8% ROI, but this one returns a 15.7% ROI. And this is big dogs look to cover to bounce back. So it's teams that have lost. Let's see here. So spread is I think I talked about this last week actually. So the team against the spread is -2 or -3, meaning they haven't covered the spread in their last 2 or 3 games. They're the visitors, and they're getting between 10 and 20 points on the road. So if we go down here, we look like, how cool is that? Like that is just an upward trend. That doesn't look like too many losing seasons, right? So again, if we just jump in here, now I have this spread list up there, even though it's between 10 and 20, because I like to have a look and see how they're performing per spread. So if we look here, like I said, I think, in this range, obviously 10.5 is not a great ROI, but, it's bunched in here and it's good enough for me. So, I like Golden State tonight. Couple kind of long shot things. This is an interesting system. This is kind of like it's long shots, and it's really, this is a first half play, and you're betting these underdogs first half to win outright, like to win that first half outright on the money line. So it only comes in 35%, but look at that ROI, 47%. If you bet $100 on every single one of these games, going back to only 2016, you'd be up 12 G's. Like, so 12 bands betting the system, pretty good. You can see, it's been a little bit rocky this year. It's still been profitable, but it's been a little bit rocky. But we look at some like the past system. Like, this is one of those things, guys, where you can just expect to lose, and then you win a couple. And these are the odds. Like, this was Golden State a number of weeks ago, plus 331, plus 281, plus 278, right? So, might be something to look at. Plays like this, you certainly want to bet less than what your normal 1 unit size is, because it can be very volatile, and you don't want to be putting stress on your bankroll. So half a unit would be good here, because as you can see, guys, you're only expecting to win about 35% of the time. If we just go back and look at some of the past contests, like this would have been, a pretty good week, right? 3 wins, all spaced together. But, the wins do come. But again, you just have to practice excellent bankroll management on these games. So bottom line though, guys, I do like Golden State. There's value on Golden State tonight. Not loving the money distribution. Like, again, I was totally thinking actually this was going to be contrarian, but we can see why that line fell. I know this says it opened at -9. I got it as soon as 5 Dimes. 5 Dimes was the first book to post a line, and I got them at 11.5 today, but I still think there's value 10.5, 10. Let's see what we got here. Mike, I did cover the Monday unders, so when this is over, if you just want to go back and maybe rewatch it, it was a little bit in. Your thought on teaser betting? I've been successful on NFL, especially in playoff. Yeah, so again, I don't bet teasers. I don't bet teasers or parlays. The house edge is just too large, and I think I told you guys maybe that story about that betting team that went into Vegas, and they got limited by the books. So they came up with a good idea, and it really was a good idea. They went into a couple books they'd never bet at, and they asked them for like a ridiculously high betting limit. I think it was 50,000. The book said, no, we'll give you 10 until we know you. And then they asked, well, can we bet teasers? And the book's like, well, yeah, we'll let you bet teasers for 50,000. And they said, yeah, that's all we want to bet, just teasers. And, we'll bet the odd straight game here and there. So these guys, they spent a few weeks betting $50,000 teasers, obviously losing money. Then they go to the book, well, let us bet 50 or 75 on the straight games too. So the book now, thinking these guys are total suckers, gave them that limit. And as soon as they gave them that limit, they stopped betting their teasers and started pounding straights. And before the books kind of figured out what was going on, they had taken the books for a ton of money. So that gives you an idea what Vegas's thought on teasers are, that they'll let you basically bet any amount you want on teasers. Why? Because there's such a huge house edge in it, a huge house edge. And that's the same thing with parlays. If you guys know that little kind of wheel as you walk in the casino, like, it's funny to me that sports bettors said never play that wheel because the worst odds in the house, or then they say, well, roulette has terrible odds. A 5-team parlay has 10 times worse odds. 5-team parlays, 10 times worse odds than roulette. That's pretty amazing if you think about it, but sports bettors have no issue throwing down 5-team parlays. Do you ever notice how the books kind of advertise those big parlay hits? Like, you always see news articles like, so-and-so hit a 12-game parlay. That's the best thing to ever happen in Vegas, because people think it's possible. I mean, yeah, it's possible. People win the lottery, right? But it doesn't mean you're going to. So, anyways, that's that. that's my kind of rant for today. Jesse Peters, need a winner tonight. Yeah, don't we all? The reason I'm doing this is because I really have a pick that I was giving out. I think, my front runners were probably, the under in the Georgia Southern Arkansas Little Rock game, and then again I did say I put a bet on Golden State earlier on, but that line has come down a little bit. Ryan Vaughn, Islanders plus 110 Yeah, so no way I'm betting against Colorado with Francouz in net, and that is a blanket statement until Vegas figures out Francouz and gets these lines straightened out. Like this is an example of, this looks like a game where, the Islanders probably should be, like minus 110, minus 115. So on the surface, it looks like a plus 110. There's value there, but the sharp slam Colorado because, I will say Vegas is not the best at hockey. They get there, but it takes them a while to figure stuff out because, again, look at this. There's 1,588 bets in hockey, right? And we jump over a football game, there's 10,000 bets. So like 10 times more bets on the football game. So they don't spend a lot of time on the hockey. So I think that any game that Francouz is playing in until Vegas figures out probably has a bit of value, but I don't necessarily love betting him on the road against the Islanders, but I certainly wouldn't be on the Islanders tonight. So, yeah, guys, I did. Sorry for some of you guys who were here in the beginning. I know like some of this might be repetitive. I'm just trying to kind of accommodate everyone the best I can. So just going back to the football game, guys, we kind of determined earlier on, I don't have a pick in either of these, but I have a couple leans. So my lean was towards UL-Lafayette, but I would be buying that hook. I'd be buying that down to 13.5. Like, you can get 13.5 for minus 120. So let's take a winner at 14 at 2 touchdowns. Let's not take a push at 2 touchdowns, right? I think in terms of how they match up, like UL-Lafayette, I think like 2 out of their 3 losses were against a ranked team, right? So, they have a good record. They're a solid football team, like a really good football team. And I just think that Miami, Ohio is a little bit outclassed in this game, but Miami, Ohio has found a way to keep games close this year, and that's a little bit concerning for me. The money distribution, I'm not crazy about. But I do think that there's a good solid play on the under in this game. So, money distribution looks good here. I wish that was below 50%, but okay, sorry. So 37%, good money distribution, but as well, we got 3 steam plays on the under. 1, 2, 3, all on the under here. So, a reverse line move, 2 steam plays. So I think there's a bit of value on that game under. Let's find there UL-Lafayette. So I can't remember why I laid off this game, but I did find something earlier. Maybe it was money distribution, but let's have a look because originally I did have some indicators. You can see a little steam move there at Play MGM. Now Play MGM doesn't really have enough information that we can kind of pay bets just based on a steam move from them, because what they could consider a steam move might just be some like square rich guy coming in firing 50 grand down on a game, right? So I discount that a little bit, but there is looks like some system indicators here, good solid system indicators. 54 up to 60%. Certainly I would lean towards UL-Lafayette in that game. Based on the stats, what percentage based on line move? Okay, that's a good question. What percentage of your bets are based on stats, and what percentage based on line movement? So I base my bets on a number of things, but in order to get a bet, what I want is I want things to line up perfectly, right? So I wish I could show you guys an example. I guess, if there's steam here, yeah. So, here's one that's probably close. This is what we're looking for, okay? So, Denver, Atlanta, right? We got 31% of bets, 46% of money. So, it's a contrarian play. So, we like that contrarian, meaning less than 50% of the money. So, the public's going the other way. And 69% of the public is betting that side. So we like that money distribution. It's between 7 and 21%. Now the next thing we want to see is, is there steam or reverse line moves on this game? We can see that there is. It's a little bit split. The reason it's showing value on reverse line move is because this is a profitable book and the rest aren't. But now as well, what we want to see here is maybe a few systems. This is just basically like an indicator like I talked about. So this isn't a perfect play, but it looks like, Atlanta might be a play for half a unit. This I really like as well. I'm gonna show you guys that this is something I really look for. There's 54% of the money on Denver, but that line went down a full point. Even though most of the money's on Denver, the line dropped a full point, and that to me says what? It says that Vegas wants more money coming in on Denver. So, again, there's a few things that line up, and I think Atlanta's very, very close to being a play, if it isn't already, right? So that's kind of what I look for. Now, in terms of stats, here's the thing. Here's something I'll tell you guys not to do. If you guys are going to handicap your own games, don't listen to the media. Don't listen to radio shows. Don't listen to former professional, athletes. Don't listen to broadcasters. And certainly don't read reviews about the game. I'm telling you, the only thing that's going to do is throw you off. How many times, think about this, guys, how many times have you watched something or read something or looked at something on TV and, you got some former football player saying, this team's going to win by 3 touchdowns, and you bet the game, and then, the other team ends up winning outright. It happens all the time. So I like to go into games with, a clean slate, blank mind, and the only issue I have with handicapping with stats is Vegas does that. Vegas has computers, and they're so great at setting the line. Do you really think that you're going to find something that Vegas doesn't know? And the problem as well with betting stats is if you do find something that looks really good, you can almost be assured that Vegas does know about it. And then the problem is maybe you're putting too much value into it and Vegas is getting you to bet a trap line. And that's how a lot of people kind of end up falling into trap lines and stuff like that. I think yesterday, I'm not going to call it a trap line, but I think when we took that, the Minnesota game, I think everyone yesterday, if I don't know if you saw my comment section, people are as soon as I put my video, people are messaging me saying New Orleans is going to win by 3 scores. It's not enough value. And that was, I think, either the first or second 2-unit play I've given out all year in football. And, I don't really give out 2-unit plays in football, but, there was so much value there. And only being 8 points felt like a trap line to me. And I think, the fact they got 70% or 75% of the money going on New Orleans, it kind of was a trap line in a sense, right? So yeah, just, be careful. I'm always careful with stats. Handicappers do a great job of extracting information and getting information, from alternative sources and stuff. Billy, I might have told this story. Billy Walters was the greatest at getting information. The story I heard, which I thought was amazing, was Billy Walters used to call up really, really small schools and then college football, college basketball, right? So here, let's take a look at one. Here, Grambling State, right? So he'd call in a Grambling State and say, I'm a representative with Nike. Let me talk to your equipment manager. Talk to the equipment manager. As soon as the equipment manager picked up, he'd say, okay, I'm not with Nike. I'm a professional sports bettor. I make my living off of information. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'm guessing you make $15,000 to $20,000 a year. If you send me information, credible information on a game, I'm going to hand you $20,000 cash. No questions asked. The first time you send me bad information, we never talk again. So now you had guys that were calling Billy Walters up out of the blue and saying, hey, Billy, quarterback was late to the meeting today. He's not starting. Billy say, hey, if that turns out win or lose, you're getting $20,000 tomorrow. And so Billy go to the books, bet a couple $100,000 across Vegas and the other side. Sure enough, quarterback wasn't starting, right? So information is key, but that information is not available to everyone. If we're betting whatever, $50, $100, $1,000 a game even, that information is not available to us. So we just have to be careful about, how how we're sourcing our information, and be careful not to fall into the media trap. I know I apologize if I'm droning on about this, but it is important, guys, when you're making your picks. Try not to listen to the media. Like, I watch sports, and but I don't listen to stuff during the day on the radio. Like, after I'm done my picks, I'll listen to it all day. I love watching stuff like that and, listening to streams. But before I do my picks, there's no way I'm going to let them get in my head, because I do not want to go in when I'm picking a matchup and have kind of an idea what side I'm going to pick before I've actually looked at the raw data and stuff like that. So, 7.5 looked high. Trap line was all over Minnesota. There was one other here earlier that I wanted to cue in on. Maybe it's gone. Oh, is any value betting Clemson Lafayette now versus later? We could have a look at that. So here's the thing: if you're betting, if your bet, to me, now this is just to me, if your bet is going to be on LSU, typically I would say on a game like this, you'd want to bet the favorite early and then bet the underdog late. Now, that's not always the case, but on a big game like this, we'll probably see a little bit more line movement. You see, Bovada's already moved it to 6.5. Everywhere else is between 5.5. But you can see here, Clemson has value. I think Clemson has value for a couple reasons. And I'm not giving out a pick on this game yet, because it's too early to tell. But I mean, the contrarian, the money distribution here looks like Clemson is the pick. And I said this before. I said this before the previous game that they played. I'm not sure that Clemson isn't the best team in the country. Like, I honestly said, when I made that pick on Clemson last time, I said I don't think that they should have been ranked where they were ranked. And yeah, LSU is a fantastic team. And I think one of the things that hurts LSU is the fact that how they performed in the last game. But because of how well they performed in the last game, the public is going to jump all over them. And we knew that right off the bat. We knew the public is going to jump all over them. And they have, right? But again, this money distribution here is not fantastic. But let's just see what we got here. So 2 reverse lines on Clemson, 3 reverse lines on Clemson. So again, my bet right now would be Clemson or nobody. And if I'm going to be, on Clemson or nobody, then I think for the time being, I might wait, see if I get that line. You know what? At 6.5, if this is 6.5, I might buy that up to 7. Then I would take it all day long. You'd probably have to pay minus 125. So I'd see if it drifts up there on its own. We got time before that game. Clemson money line. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I think there's a bit of value there, right? And it's hard right now to bet against LSU, and this is kind of what I come back to at the end of the day is I will probably end up being on Clemson. I don't think there's any way I'm going to end up on LSU, but I mean, goddamn, LSU can play ball. Like, they're a good team. If you guys saw that game, the last one they played, like that, they look like a professional team out there, right? And they're not far off it. Wouldn't mind seeing LSU against, I can't say Miami anymore. I beat up on Miami so bad earlier on, but I bet against them one time this year with the Pats, and look what happened to me. Anyways, so yeah, LSU beat up on a tomato. Yeah, well, yeah, at the end of the day, LSU is a good team. They're a good team. I'm not taking that away from them. But I said this before. The first game. I thought Clemson should have been 1 or 2. I really thought they should have been 1 or 2. And they played a tough schedule too, right? So I don't know. I like Clemson, but to me it's too early. Let's get back to some of the games here today. Okay, Colorado Islanders under 6 minus 125. Yeah, so I think it is a little too much juice, to be honest with you. I think it is. If I was going to bet that game, I would probably still bet it at minus 120. Or sorry, I would probably still bet it at the 5.5. and then maybe get 105. Like it looks like here 5 dimes, like you're probably getting 105. I would probably prefer that. You're eliminating really with 6. You're not eliminating like wins per se, but you're eliminating or you're giving yourself a few more pushes, right? So you're not going to get many more wins with that, but so if a game is 3-2 and that empty netter goes in, the empty netter goes in and you win. But the problem is those games that you're going to lose, 5-2 or 5-3 or 6-4, like games like that happen. Every one of those, boom, 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 you're paying minus 125, and that's really going to add up. So, this here when it opened, and again, it sucks when we miss good lines, but that was a good line. 6 at minus 110. Good line. Saw here Texas Southern seems to be getting steam. Let's have a look at that. Texas Southern. All right. So could be they could be getting some steam here. So a little bit. There's a steam on both sides. Okay. And a reverse line move. Now you can see here, guys, on these like off the board games with these long numbers. Like, look what steam did to that line originally. I guess it's probably come back. Yeah, it's come back a little bit because the steam moved the other way. But this is something that you see a lot in college basketball. You'll see steam on both sides because a lot of it's based on line moves. So here we have a steam play one way. 11 plus 11.5. Now it goes to 8.5, and now everyone's saying, "Well, there's a bunch of value at 8.5, so let's go that way." And then the line jumps back and forth, which is why some people can bet college basketball. Guys that really know how to handicap college basketball can try and take a lot of middles where they'll take both sides of that, hope the game lands at 8, 9, or 9 or 10, and they win both sides, right? So I don't know. I don't know that I would say that there's really value on Texas Southern. Probably at 8.5. Now it's back to 10. Not 100% sure about that, but later to Jens. Right on. See you, buddy. Like Colorado plus 120 in regulation. I guess that would be like a 3-way line where. I don't really bet a lot of those because a number of games go to overtime, and so I don't really end up betting those. Don't bet first half or quarters too often. So a lot of my systems, and I'm starting to develop systems based on first half. Pardon me, based on first half, and I have some some second half plays and stuff like that, but. Again, I don't have a whole lot of it. Like, I do have some basketball first half plays. Like, I think I showed you guys this one earlier here. These are all first half plays. No, pardon me. Yeah, they are. These are all first half plays. That's, first half, first half, first half. I think this is a first half play. Yeah, that's first half play. But, again, overall, these are all betting on underdogs, right? So, overall, very profitable, but this year they haven't been. And I'm not gonna chase that while it's losing. Like, let's let it come back to us, and then we can kind of jump back on it. So a couple things just appeared here. So better wins that. Yeah. So this is more or less, I believe, a money distribution indicator. So this is saying the over in the Denver Atlanta game. The only issue I have here is look how much that line's come up. It's come up a lot. So, at 223.5, maybe that's not a bad pick. And at 224, it's getting up there. Probably some steam, I would have to think. Did we see steam on here earlier? No, there's a steam play on the under. All right, so it came back a little bit, but yeah, there's a steam play on the over. Heritage, the Heritage is a good book too. So, but so anyways, I'm not really huge into first half, and I rarely bet quarters. I will bet team totals in quarters, and first half is, I think, you guys saw the other day. I did that, and we got a win there. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to get caught up. Let's just see if we can find anything else here. College about super system about Copen tonight. I don't think it had anything on Copen tonight. Yeah, no indicators. The only super system indicator tonight is in this game, the under in and look, we also have 2 steam plays. There is a reverse line move on the over, but we got a couple steam plays. Pinnacles at 145. You got to lay minus 115. I put a small bet on this. I missed the opening line on this. So I didn't get 146. I'm pretty sure, I have to check. I think I got 145.5, but that was the only college basketball super system. These are all first half plays. But again, 56% over 4,000 games. This hits 56%. Like, that's huge, right? That's a winning number, 5.9%. Every $100 you bet on one of these, you're going to win, $5.90 back, and that's really, really good when you're sports betting. But again, I'm it's battling this year, right? It's below 500 for the year on 400 games. So with things like that, we have to find out, is that a short-term trend, or is that an adjustment that Vegas has made, right? So you pick one. Which one? How do I pick which ones I share and which ones I don't? That's really simple. I give you guys my best. And honestly, I do. I give you guys my best. I have no reason not to. Your full card. Yeah, my full card is not really anything to. I don't really have a full bet. I got a couple half unit plays here and there, but nothing really jumped out at me as being spectacular. I like the under in the football game. Still not a full play for me. Just I got no systems. There is a bit of steam. The money distribution looks good, and So I do give you guys. That's how I pick. I give you guys my absolute best. If I'm betting 12 or 13 games some nights, and sometimes you can find value in 20 some odd games. I'm not going to give out 20 games, but I will give you guys the best games that I have out of that list. I don't just pick and choose whichever. I'm giving you guys my best, but one of the reasons why I kind of hesitate a little bit in always giving out my full card is because I'm a value bettor, guys. And what a value bettor means is I do high volumes of bets, and I look for, in some cases, just thin value, right? I'm happy with 55, 54% systems and stuff if the money's right. But the problem with that, guys, is you are going to have really big swings. You're going to have really big swings. And as you guys kind of experienced back in December, we had a bad month in December. And, people started to go crazy thinking, what's going on? That's, normal. If you guys thought that was bad, you guys should have seen April. April, I would be down to 3 subscribers. April was atrocious, really, really bad. And December, December wasn't great, but December wasn't a horrible month. What did we put up, 48% or something, 47%? Yeah, we lost, but you guys haven't seen horrible until you see a month like that. And the problem is, if I give out my full card every single night, and I'm looking for the best way to phrase this, guys, but the money management just isn't there across the board. So a lot of you guys, I know you guys are super smart with with the money management aspect of sports betting. I know a lot of you guys are smart, and a lot of you guys could handle it. But the problem is, there's a lot of new sports bettors out there, and a lot of people that don't have that control. And if I start giving out, every one of my picks, 5 picks, 10 picks, 15, 20 picks some nights, it's gonna end badly for some people, and I don't want to see that. That's not why I'm here. Maybe there will be somewhere where I give out all my picks one day. I'm not going to do it in this form online where I can't really kind of gauge. I can't really gauge how the level of experience everyone has, right? So that's more or less why I'm not giving out all my picks every day. But again, I give you guys enough, and I always give you my best. All right. Thanks for teaching us. Yeah, absolutely. What are these programs? So you know what? Brock, 100%, man. That's I like showing this. I like showing you guys what this is about. But I always say in sports betting, look at that line move, eh? Sorry, I'm gonna come back to that. Look at the line move, bumped up to Bovada's still got 14. They're a little slow on the gun. Up to 15, 14 and a half, 15, 15. I wonder if we got some steam here. We sure did. No, that was yesterday. That was already up there, right? Yeah. So we must. There definitely was steam. It just hasn't come through yet. Definitely was steam there. So, yeah. Sorry, I just want to get back to that, Brock. So yeah, I always talk about setting goals. I still set goals for myself. I always set goals, and it's not just goals. Is not like what people do in sports betting and goals. They typically say like, I want to win, this amount of money. I want to win this percentage, and that's cool. I mean, I get that, but you want to set little goals for yourself along the way. And what I mean by little goals is you want to make it fun and exciting. So you want to set goals like a little competition. Say, if I can beat the closing line 56% of the time in the month of January, I'll reward myself with this. And one of the other things that you could set as a goal. So, I mean, obviously the goal is we want to grow our bankrolls. We want to make a bunch of money. But I think a really good goal for you guys would be to say, let me get to the point where I'm betting $25 minimum a game with a large enough bankroll to support that. Not that you have 200 in your bankroll and you're going to bet 25 a game. But I mean, if you can bet $25 a game minimum, then you know what? You can step up and use a program like this. Now, keep in mind, if you're betting $25 a game, you're basically going to be betting almost just to pay for your software, right? Like, I mean, that's what you're going to be expecting to win. But right away, you're going to probably convert a losing player over to a winning player just with a lot of this data. You might not be able to hit 54 or 55%, but you could probably hit in the high 52 or 53 range. So, set that as a goal for yourselves, guys. I think set that as a goal to say that, let me get to the point where my bankroll is good enough that I can bet $30 a game or $35 a game or 40 or 50 or whatever it is. And then you can get a software like this, right? And that's, I think that's the way to go. You know what, Richard? That's a great question. How does Action Network stack up against Sports Insight? So I can kind of feel that. And I've been asked that question before. To me, it doesn't stack up. It really doesn't. And if this is, we're investing our hard-earned money into betting. You want the whole picture. And the only issue I have with Action Network, it's just part of the picture. It's part of the story. So imagine yourself as like a murder detective or something. You have to go out and like solve it. I mean, this is like Sports Insight's like, the smoking gun and all the evidence, where, Action Network is like, an eyewitness testimony from 90 feet away from a drunk guy. Like, it gives you part of the story, and the problem is, you can end up making the wrong arrest. And that's what I'm trying to say is, like, you get your information and you're only getting half your information. What that's going to ultimately do is, probably in a lot of cases direct you onto the wrong side of a game. You want the whole picture. So to me, I know people have said, okay, what about Action Network? I'll just, I'll subscribe to Action Network for now, and then down the road when I have the money, I'll get Sports Insight. But, to me, like, the Sports Insight is what you should be saving for. I wouldn't invest the money into Action Network. So Sports Insight is part of the Action Network. And if you go on to Action Network's site, you're going to see like the app as well as, the Sports Insight. But so it's kind of like a levels thing. And I don't know how they promote their Action Network, but I believe, once you bought their Action Network subscription, they're going to, right away start bombarding you with Sports Insight. It's kind of like a stepping stone. I think probably what they do is they probably use the Action Network app as a lead capture tool, really. I mean, they'll make a little bit of money off it, but, it's probably a big time, like, lead caption tool that they can use to say, okay, look, this guy was willing to spend a bit of money on this product, so, we could probably upsell him over to Sports Insight. And you know what? If they did talk you into it, good for them, because this really, really is an amazing, amazing product. Like, they've put a lot of time into this. I think, I'm going to just show you guys something really quick before we bail. Like, I'm going to show you just one thing. I didn't want this to really be about. This system, but like I want to show you like how amazing it is. So let's figure out a system here. Let's go NFL indoors. I'm going to put delete on here so I don't use this as a system, but let's just pick. So now we can pick. We got NFL over under. We want first half, second half. Let's pick full game, and let's just say for argument's sake we had an idea, and all of the systems I've created. Like, there's literally hundreds of systems I've created. All the systems I've created, and I tweaked them. It's all based on a hypothesis, an idea that something may or may not be, good. So let's say, for example, I decided one day, hey, you know what? I've been watching a lot of games, and, it seems to me a lot of games indoor in the NFL go over. I'm not saying they do. Like, I'm just making this all up. So I go down here, and I go to dome closed. Okay? Now, we can see here, slightly, you know what? Let's pick something first. Let's go to over first. Where are we here? Okay, so we're going to take the over. Now you can see in NFL, it's virtually equal betting the overs and under, which is rare. Normally in most sports, it's better always to bet the under. But let's say we want to take that over. We go down here and look at all the variables we can use. But let's say in domes. So there it is. Boom. If we were only losing 0.5% versus 3%. So we're going to click that. Okay. So if we're betting the over in a closed dome, it's much better. Now you can see over the last few years, it's been down a little bit. But then we can start adding other variables into it as well. Right. And we kind of want to, we want to pick variables that make sense. But again, this is a very, very robust system. So, now we can get into the closing total range. So let's play around with this, see if it goes green at all. You know what? I think it will this way. Let's say lower games. There. I mean, not very profitable, right? But that's a little better. So there we go. So let's, there we go. Find a good system there, all right? Here we go. There's a system there, right there, guys. Created right in front of your very own eyes. Let's see here. We have dome is closed. Yes, you're betting on the over, and the total is between 32 and 40. Let's refresh that to get the record. 69.42, good for 62%. There you go. If we look at the last games, Minnesota and the Bears on the 29th, we would have won. Let's see what this year is. So you can actually sort this by year, which is really, really cool. Time period, go to seasons, sort by this year. So, it does look like over, if we played this last year, it would have been 1-5, 2-0 this year, 2-2 the year before. So let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 5 years, guys, we would have been 10-7. So it doesn't come up all that often. But anyways, that's just an example. I'm going to delete this one because it's not a large enough sample size for me to be giving out plays based on that. But that's just an idea for you guys. Did you already share your free plays today? I didn't have any free plays today. Didn't have any. That's why I kind of came and jumped on here and did this for you guys. But yeah, I didn't have any free plays today. There's an early look at Minnesota. Look at that money distribution already. That's a little early, but a large enough volume of bets. 33% of bets, 47% of money. So it's going to probably tell you that there's probably some sharp money. Doesn't have any sharp or reverse line moves, but we like the fact it's contrarian. Nice money distribution. Let's see if there's any steam. Only one steam play on the under in that game. Anyways, so I didn't really have a pick, but yeah. So and again, guys, I will mention quickly. So I'm releasing my website. I was supposed to do it this week. I'm just tweaking a couple things, but my website's going to be out next week, and I'm going to offer a pretty cool promotion if any of you guys are interested, or you're at that level where you can buy into the Sports Insight. So what I've kind of said, and I'll talk about it when I release the website. I'm going to go through and for a few of you guys, if you're interested in the program, I'm going to load up 10 or 15 of my own BetLab indicators. So some of my own BetLab indicators, I'll load them up on your system and just do maybe a quick phone call or something and walk you through the best way to use the system. Because in essence, guys, like this system is cool, but just buying the system, like if you bought this, you don't just make money. It just doesn't give you money because you own this. Like you have to understand how to read the numbers. You have to understand, what Steam is valuable, what Steam isn't valuable. And also, with the Bet Labs, and Think Tank, you have to understand which ones to avoid. Like Think Tank is basically like a long list of just Bet Labs things people have created. But if you buy into the wrong one, it could be disastrous. Like as an example for people, I was doing a thing a while back and I showed some people. I created a system in Bet Labs in basketball, and what I did is I just kept trying to get to a result, and eventually I got to a result. I found a system. There was 415 wins and no losses. And the reason I could get to that system is I was trying to get there. And that's the problem sometimes in creating a system. If you're looking for a result, you can add enough kind of variables to get to that result. And that's one of the dangers. That's one of the dangers that you kind of end up in. So Shag, you're interested. So here's the thing. I'll just kind of tell you quickly. Because loading the systems takes a long time, what I'm going to do is when the website goes live, I'm going to limit it to the first 10 people where I'm going to load it. But if you aren't one of the first 10 people, that's not a big deal. I'll be able to do it for you, in a month's time or potentially 2 months' time. Just because I don't want to commit to more than 10 people, because it's going to take me a few hours to do each one, and I have to do it manually. There's no way to, there's no open API that I can just plug in and give you that. So the first 10 people, I'm going to load up all my systems and stuff. So anyways, guys, before I sign off here, we got games going pretty soon. I don't know if there's any other games you guys want to have a look at. I think we covered a bunch. Too bad. I love click on MLB. It'll be here soon enough. Just hovered over basketball here. So you guys saw earlier, on this Denver-Atlanta game, there was an over indicator. It's now gone, right? That's the other thing you have to kind of look at is there's nothing to tell these indicators, nothing to tell the indicators which, that money's going to move or something. So they'll pop up and then money changes and it'll go away, right? But so I think just a really quick recap. I think, games that kind of have value. I think probably Atlanta has value. Reverse line move. It's definitely contrarian. Nice money distribution. It's drifted down a little bit. System play's gone just because probably that money distribution dropped down again. Let's see here. When's the website going up? Website was it was supposed to go up this week, but again, I was just kind of fine-tuning a couple things. So I would say within the next 7 days it'll be up, but I'll let you guys know. When I do a video, I'll probably maybe do a video just about the website, or maybe I'll include it in one of the free picks. But it'll be up. It'll be up soon. Thanks for the stream. You're very welcome. Let's see. Notice these home short dogs. I did cover this game earlier on in the stream. I guess I don't know if you maybe weren't here for that. It's okay. So just asking quickly about, again, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. So I did say that Oklahoma State has some value tonight. They got a reverse line move. It's contrarian in the betting. So the betting's contrarian. The money has drifted over 55%. But again, that probably has to do with the reverse line move. This looks like it's being released as a site pick. So Sports Insight does release picks. And their consensus picks this year, look at that, 33-17. So OK State, they're the way to go. They're the way to go in this game. I don't mind them. It seems like the site's best bets today. I don't even know if I'm supposed to show that online. Whatever. I'm promoting for them, right? Like I'm talking good stuff about Sports Insight. I don't think they'll give me the old boot. But anyways, their best bet for the night is Dallas under 17. But as you can see here, yeah, it hasn't been performing great this year in the NBA, but let's have a look at that. Dallas, where are we? Dallas. Yeah, it's actually gone up a little bit. So, yeah, not a pick for me per se. But, yeah, that's it, guys. I don't even know how long I've been going here. I get chatting with, oh my God, over an hour. See, I get chatting with you guys. I lose total track of time. I said to myself today, I'm just like, no one wants to listen to me ramble on for an hour, so I'm going to talk for half an hour. This is what happens, though. I get going, and I have a lot of fun doing this. So, anyways, guys, all right, I think that is going to be that's going to be it for today. I'm going to wrap this up here, guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. A lot of awesome questions today, like great comments, and I'm hoping that you guys learn a lot here, and I'll continue to do these. And I think there's a really fantastic way for you guys to kind of learn what goes into making a pick. And as we continue to do this, I think I'll probably get more in depth in terms of like how I make the picks from start to finish and the stuff to look for. But every time I see something that jumps out as like a trap line or something like that, I'll let you guys know so we can kind of learn as we go. All right, so that's it, guys. Yeah, I got nothing else for you. So that's going to be it for today, guys. So have a very lucky day tonight, guys. Sorry I didn't have any picks for you, but again, I've said it a lot of times. Unless I find a lot of value, I'm not going to give out the picks, and that's how sports betting is. You guys saw, like, some days I got like 15 or 16 picks. I don't give you guys all of them. I give you guys like 9 or 10 then, and then other days I got absolutely nothing. So that's how sports betting is. And you know what? If you guys can actually commit to that, if you want to think, are you right to be a professional sports bettor? If you want to answer that question, then you can answer the question in two ways. One, can you follow bankroll management? And number two, can you not bet days? Can you not bet on days where there isn't value? And that doesn't mean going out and trying to find value, right? So, as a value bettor, I can go out and I can find, little bits of value where I can bet a quarter unit or half unit. There's nothing I'm going to bet really a full unit on today. But, if you're only betting 2 or 3 games, and you're handicapping other than how I'm doing it on here, you have to find days where you're not going to bet anything too. So that's it. Let's see here. I'll answer one more question here. So if I see that right, 45% of bets are on the under, but 75% of the money. Let's have a look here. You do see that correct. Lines come down a little bit. Let's just see if there's been some steam on there. Yep, two steam plays on the under. ABC, yeah, decent book. And Pinnacle, you know what? So Pinnacle, even though they're down 4.3 units, I would still value them over some of the other, sites out there. So, 2 good steam plays on the under in that game. And, the money distribution on that game, I lost it. Where are we? Oh, yeah. The money distribution, like, that's a pretty crazy spread there. We would certainly like that not to, to be contrarian. For me, that looks like that spread's there because there's a lot of steam and, some very large bets probably. Let's just see if we can dive a little bit deeper into this because it's interesting. Let's get over here to the over-under. Let's see where that money was put on there. All right. So let's go the under. Now, this is going to tell you all you need to know. There was a massive bet. So this to me screams syndicate. Okay? And what I mean by syndicate is when you go from, next to no money on a game all the way up to, so this went from like, 10% and it shot up to like 90%. That to me says a syndicate of people are smashing this, are smashing the under in that game. That was earlier on. Since then it's tapered off. But again, look at that. That looks like, see, that's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of information, guys. Let's take a look at this. That's cool. This is really cool. Look at that. Okay. How amazing is this, guys? This is the last thing I'm going to show you guys tonight, but how amazing is this? Remember I talked about information, how people pay for information? Well, check this out. Check this out. How cool is this? Okay, guys, at 10 a.m. this morning, or 11 a.m. this morning, okay, 11 a.m. this morning, we have a steam move, a massive steam move, one of the largest I've seen, under 229.5 in this game from a syndicate. I mean, that's definitely a syndicate because no one can throw down that kind of money all on their own. So this is a ton of people all betting under at the same time, which tells me syndicate. Now let's fast forward here about another hour and a half, and they announce Jonas isn't playing tonight. You know what that means? Inside info. There you go, guys. Someone spilled the beans on the fact that Jonas wasn't playing tonight. So he is playing. That makes no sense at all then to me. Maybe they thought he wasn't playing. I don't know. I'm stumped on this one. Why are they bet? So they were betting. I guess it looks like they were betting it. But then I would expect to see it, a sharp come the other way. They were probably betting maybe they wasn't going to play. I thought it looked like inside information, but you do see here actually, now you look at it, that money come back, right? So it's probably some of them laying off that initial bet, but I don't know, maybe they got some bad information. But this, to me, this is definitely syndicate. That's syndicate because nobody has the ability to get down that much money on a game. Nobody. So that is a syndicate. That's a number of people smashing that. But yeah, you know what, guys? Even the syndicates are on the wrong side sometimes, right? So yeah, it's funny to me. And yeah, you can see after that's announced, the line does spike back up. But then you get another steam move here to the downside. So I don't know. You know what? I think maybe the under is the play in this game. Even with Jonas in, I think probably the under is the play based on you don't see a lot of syndicate bets like that. So anyways, I'm not going to bet that game, guys. Not enough information. I don't know why that line moved like that. I'm stumped. So anyways, call it super system is hitting maybe 20% since the beginning of December. No, it actually it wasn't. I think it's better than 20% since then. But it's not. It isn't an early. It's not an early season indicator. Like I've said before, it's closely guarded. I'm not pulling up my super system on here, but it's just if I went back and I looked at it, like I said in my video, I spent a lot of time looking at it. And it does have like ruts like this. It does, and I don't think that the short-term performance was any indication of how it's going to continue to perform down the road. You get stuff like that. I think we were hitting. Exactly. Yeah, spot on. Brain basically says we were hitting like 80% at the start of the year. Yeah, hitting 80%. So I think I didn't have a record for exactly what I had hit with the super system since I started, but one of the viewers, awesome guy, he actually put it together for me from all the old picks, and I think he said it was like high 56-57% range since I started. So December was an ugly month, right? But a proven system like that where you got thousands of games and it's hitting at such a high percent, we're not going to walk away from over a bad few weeks, right? So but anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. That's it. I went more than double kind of what I was thinking of doing. So really appreciate you guys hanging in there and watching. And I'm going to do these again, no question. I'm going to do these again because I have a lot of fun doing it. And I think this is really a lot of value, that you guys can kind of see this and see how I'm picking the games and, ask the right questions. You guys asked a lot of awesome questions. So I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. We did almost an hour and 15 minutes today. So that is it for today. So as always, guys, have a very lucky day. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow, hopefully with some actual picks. All right, take care.